Here's an intricate Star Trek story worthy of Mission Impossible. It's got strategic deception on a grand scale, heroic spies, canny disguises, interspecies romance, unexpected betrayal, and great action. It's beautifully written by D.C. Fontana and tautly directed by John Meredith Lucas. They gave us The Ultimate Computer, another tightly woven tale about war and strategy. This is the second appearance of the Romulans, whom we first met in Balance of Terror from our first season. We learned that they were hostile but honorable, smart and worthy adversaries. In some technological areas of warfare, the Romulans were even more advanced than the Federation. Here is the Enterprise incident.
It was called the Enterprise incident. And that, if you want to know a little bit about that, that's, we were the Romulans. I was
Sub-Commander Tau of the Romulan fleet.
Incidentally, I think it's the first show that had a woman playing a commander. That was my boss on the ship.
Captain Kirk.
Commander, I'm honored.
I don't think so.
Anyway, we had something called a cloaking device, which rendered any vehicle that had it invisible. And the Enterprise mission was to get that for the Federation. And so, long story, Kirk had himself disguised as a Romulan.
Centurion, I'm sorry, no one...
I have just effected an escape from the Federation vessel. I have important information for Sub-Commander Tall. Where is he?
Spock beamed aboard our ship and romanced our commander.
Is my attire now more appropriate, Mr. Spock?
Commander, your attire is not only more appropriate, it should actually stimulate our conversation.
And distracted her while Kirk was out looking for the cloaking device and found it.
Why would you do this to me?
Joan Linville played the commander. I am the last remaining active leading Romulans. Mark Leonard died last year, unfortunately, and that leaves Sub-Commander Tau. That's who I am.
Helmsman, flank speed. Weapons officer, stand by to fire main batteries as soon as we reach optimum range.
Captain, a most curious development on scanner 5-7.
Let's all take a look at it, Mr. Spock. What purpose will it serve to die?
We are creatures of duty, Captain. I have lived my life by it.
In those days, nobody had any idea of what they were doing. This was all original stuff. We invented it as we went along. Gene Roddenberry wrote this script. He invented the Romulans, so there wasn't history.
What earns Spock your special interest?
He is a Vulcan. Our forebears had the same roots and origins. Something you wouldn't understand, Captain. We can appreciate the Vulcans, our distant brothers.
We didn't know it was going to be an institution as it is now, you know, with history and dates and facts and backgrounds and who did what to whom and who was who. You know, we were actors and we were delighted to be working.
It's hard to believe that I could be so moved.
If you think the real reason that the Romulans were using Klingon battlecruisers was because of the alliance between the two, think again. The main reason was that the show had invested heavily in the design and building of the Klingon model warship, and we had to justify the expense. Rather than spend more on a Romulan spaceship, it was decided to form this alliance to defray the cost. The ship made only 3 appearances throughout the original Star Trek series, but the design was closely adapted for use in the feature films.
Compute enemy course from last position and open fire.
In those days, the makeup was relatively very, very simple. This was 1968, the 3rd season of Star Trek. And it took about a half hour to build up the ears and put them on. And they said, shake your head, and I shook, and one fell off.
Gone.
We have to do something about that.
I have important information for Sub-Commander Tall. Where is he?
He's in Control Central, Centurion.
Good. I shall remember to mention your alertness to him. Return to your duty.
Thank you, Centurion.
So they repaired it, and it stuck. Len and I were old friends. Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov, was a dear friend of mine by then. So for me, it was like old home week.
Mine. Return to your duty, and I'll let you know when your work is satisfactory.
I hadn't met Bill. I liked Bill. Bill was all business and very good, and I admired him, and I watched how he took care of business.
I did give a full report on it.
Yes, Mr. Spock, that was the past. I'm concerned with the present. Or is it becoming too much for this crew to present me with current information?
Whatever the stories are about Bill, I don't give a damn, because they're not important to me. I know what I saw, and I know what I liked about it.
Sub-Commander Tal, I'm receiving an alien transmission from within our vessel, sir.
Alien, are you certain?
Yes, Sub-Commander.
I must know the source.
It was like a party for me, really. But the character I played was very stern and very businesslike and evil.
If you do not surrender your ship at the end of that time, your destruction is certain.
So I'd be clowning around because I grew up as a clown, and so I was clowning, having great fun, picnic, okay, places, and then suddenly the switch would happen for me, and you are surrounded, Captain.
Your ship is surrounded, Captain. You will surrender immediately, or we will destroy you.
You have no possibility of escape, and that kind of attitude, and so it was fun for me. That's what I remember most of all, that it was great fun, and they were paying me for this, and billing me as a guest star. I like that very, very much.
The cloaking device that Kirk steals away from the Romulans was supposed to be a pretty small item. In this episode, it's about the size of a table lamp, hard to tuck under a uniform. The device was made up of 2 pieces. They used the top of the space probe, Nomad, which appeared in the Changeling, and then they attached it to the sphere that housed the conscious mind of Sargon in Return to Tomorrow. Another ingenious way to recycle props, uniforms, music, and special effects to get the most out of a creatively restrictive budget.
Mission Impossible was our sister show and was filmed right next door to us at Desilu Pictures. Each week, Peter Graves, Martin Landau, Barbara Bain, and the rest of the Impossible Mission Force infiltrated another enemy country. They were foiling some nefarious plot with their special brand of disguises, electronic gadgetry, and charades. Being so close to all of this clandestine cloak and dagger action, it was only natural that something of Mission Impossible rubbed off on Star Trek. So, sit back and enjoy Star Trek's take on impossible missions in The Enterprise Incident. Isn't it odd that 2 such hostile races like the Klingons and the Romulans would form a treaty in which they would share their ship designs and technology? The reason behind this strange treaty is simple: money. No, not Romulan and Klingon money, mind you, but Star Trek production money. You see, Matt Jeffries and the Star Trek special effects crew spent a lot of money developing and building the Klingon cruisers. They were first seen in Ilan of Troyes. So much was spent, in fact, that the studio needed to get their money's worth out of the new models. Rather than reuse footage of the Romulan bird of prey model that was only seen in the Balance of Terror, it was decided that the Romulans would adopt the Klingon ship design and it would be explained away in the terms of a treaty. One of the things that's always bothered me about the Enterprise incident is the fact that Kirk and Spock go to all this trouble to steal the Romulan cloaking device, and then it's never seen or used again in future episodes. As a matter of fact, right up through Star Trek VI and beyond, enemies with cloaking devices were troublesome to the crew of the Enterprise. It seems that somewhere along the line, our writers forgot that Starfleet had acquired this technology. Not until Star Trek Deep Space Nine would a Starfleet vessel have a cloaking device, and even then, it's explained that the device is on loan from the Romulans. There was always some concern that having our crew traveling on an invisible ship might bore the viewers. Well, take a look at Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, our most successful movie. The ship is invisible for most of the story.